In the early 1990s, a team of American climate researchers was documenting ice formations near Greenland's Arctic Circle when they spotted something that would change everything. Rising from the frozen landscape was a massive iceberg. But this wasn't ordinary ice. Something metallic glinted beneath the frost, something that didn't belong in nature. What they discovered would become one of the most incredible archaeological finds of the 20th century, and what was preserved inside this frozen tomb would leave everyone speechless. As the research team approached using snowmobiles and inflatable boats, the mystery deepened. Protruding from the ice was a twisted metal frame, unmistakably the remains of an aircraft, but not just any aircraft. This was a ghost from World War II, perfectly preserved after 5 decades in nature's deep freeze. The plane embedded in the iceberg was a Lockheed P-38 Lightning fighter, part of a legendary Lost Squadron that vanished during Operation Bolero in July 1942. This massive Allied operation aimed to ferry American aircraft across the Atlantic to reinforce British forces, but Mother Nature had other plans. On July 15, 1942, 8 aircraft, 6 P-38 Lightnings and 2 B-17 Flying Fortresses, encountered a devastating whiteout blizzard over Greenland. With fuel running dangerously low and visibility reduced to zero, the pilots faced an impossible choice: crash into the ocean or attempt emergency landings on the treacherous ice sheet. Miraculously, all crew members survived the forced landings. Dog sled teams and emergency aircraft rescued every airman. But the planes themselves? They were abandoned, left to the mercy of Greenland's relentless ice. For half a century, these warbirds lay forgotten beneath the accumulating snow and ice. Each winter, another layer sealed them deeper into their frozen tomb. By the 1990s, they rested under an incredible 268 feet of compressed ice, deeper than a 20-story building is tall. Most experts believed any recovery was impossible, but 2 men refused to give up: Roy Schaffner, a Kentucky businessman, and Bob Carden, an aviation enthusiast. Together, they formed the Greenland Expedition Society with one audacious goal: bring home one of these lost warriors. Using ground-penetrating radar, the team located their target in 1992. But how do you extract a 15,000-pound fighter plane from beneath 268 feet of solid ice? If you can't go through it and you can't go around it, Schaffner declared, you work up another solution. Their solution was revolutionary: a custom-designed thermal melting probe that would literally melt a tunnel straight down through the glacier. Month after month, they drilled through the ice, creating a narrow shaft that descended deeper than most skyscrapers rise high. When they finally reached the aircraft, what they found defied all expectations. The plane, later christened Glacier Girl, was remarkably intact. Despite being crushed under millions of tons of ice for 5 decades, the aircraft structure had survived, but it was what they discovered inside that truly stunned everyone. The cockpit looked like the pilot had just stepped away. Instrument panels, throttle levers, and gauges remained in place, many still functional after 50 years in a frozen tomb. The ice had acted as nature's perfect time capsule, protecting everything from decay. 4 50-caliber Browning machine guns still occupied the nose, their ammunition belts partially loaded with rounds that would never be fired in anger. Original radio equipment, complete with vacuum tubes and wiring harnesses, lay coated in frost but otherwise untouched by time. The most moving discoveries were the personal items that humanized this mechanical marvel. Oxygen masks hung where they'd been left. Flight gear remained strapped to seats. Behind the cockpit, explorers found food rations, logbooks, and even a deck of playing cards, silent witnesses to young airmen who'd faced uncertainty with courage. These weren't just artifacts. They were intimate glimpses into the lives of pilots barely out of their teens, serving their country in one of history's most dangerous conflicts. The preservation was so complete that leather items retained their flexibility, as if waiting patiently for their owner's return. Over the following months, Glacier Girl was painstakingly disassembled piece by piece and airlifted from her icy grave. The recovery alone was an engineering marvel, but the real work was just beginning. In Middlesboro, Kentucky, a dedicated team spent 10 years meticulously restoring the aircraft. People cannot believe we went down into the ice cap, disassembled the airplane, brought it up one piece at a time, and now have put it back together, Schaffner marveled. The restoration used 80% original parts, making it perhaps the finest P-38 Lightning in existence. On a clear day in October 2002, the impossible became reality. Glacier Girl's twin engines roared to life, and she lifted off from Kentucky soil. Her first flight in 60 years. The moment was electric as observers witnessed not just the rebirth of an aircraft, but the resurrection of a piece of living history. "She's like a rock star," observed Richard Buchanan, describing the attention Glacier Girl attracted at air shows. Veterans wept at seeing her fly again. Children stared in wonder at this tangible link to their grandparents' war. In 2007, there was an attempt to complete Glacier Girl's original 1942 mission, flying from America to England. She departed New Jersey with great fanfare, finally embarking on the transatlantic journey she'd been built for. But fate intervened once more. 6 days into the flight, a coolant leak grounded her in Labrador, Canada. Though the crossing was never completed, the attempt itself honored the brave airmen who tried this same route 65 years earlier. Today, efforts continue to recover more aircraft from the lost squadron. Echo, another P-38, was located in 2018, but extraction has proven increasingly dangerous as climate change makes the glacier more unstable. Teams race against time as shifting ice and deepening crevices threaten to make recovery impossible. Each remaining aircraft represents a frozen chapter of World War II, waiting to tell its story. The allure remains irresistible. What other secrets lie preserved beneath Greenland's ice? Glacier Girl now resides in museums and air shows, no longer fighting battles but winning hearts. Her story transcends aviation history, becoming a testament to human perseverance, the power of preservation, and our duty to remember. What makes her tale so compelling isn't just the remarkable preservation or the engineering feat of recovery. It's the profound reminder that history isn't truly lost. Sometimes it's just waiting to be found. The young airmen who crash-landed in 1942 couldn't have imagined their aircraft would one day inspire millions. Their courage, preserved in aluminum and ice, continues to teach us about sacrifice, determination, and the unexpected ways the past reaches forward to touch the future. Glacier Girl proves that some stories are too important to remain buried, even under 268 feet of ice. In preserving her, we preserve not just a machine, but the memory of those who served, and the hope that no sacrifice is ever truly forgotten. What do you think about this incredible story of preservation and recovery? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales from history.